Okay, for this video we're working on clipping, and usually this is a lot more in-depth presentation at the fair because you can get up and hands-on and close. Basically, I'm just going to give you a rundown today of what needs to be done, what you're looking for, and some tips on how to do it. First of all, you have two different types of clippers. One is a wide clipper. This is a full body clipper, and these I recommend finding somebody that has some and borrowing theirs. But if you're absolutely insist on buying your own, they run about $225, $250 for a set of these. Also, you could get away with a set of small ones like this. It'll take you a long time to do it, which will cause anxiety for both you and the calf. Usually what I use these for is for clipping up here around the head where there's a lot of tight areas that I need to get in, where this one just doesn't necessarily work as well. When you're clipping, you want to have a calf that's nice and clean. You want to have all the dirt washed out of his hair, because that will dull clippers rather quickly. For this presentation, I didn't necessarily wash them out. I'm getting ready to get these clippers sharpened, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you what to do. One thing you want to do is make sure you have your calf's head up somewhere so that he's not able to get down and around and look around. Another thing you want to do is start at the back end of the animal. Give him a chance to work, to get used to the noise of the clippers. You can tell they're very loud. He gets very antsy when I do that. So I'll just start right here on the top of the calf. Let him get used to the feel, the vibration of it. And I'm going to work against the hairline, whichever place I'm working. So on top, the hair is going, most of it is facing backwards. Some of it is facing forwards. I would switch that around. Easy. You can clip the calf two different ways. You can clip against the hair, which is usually the hair on the side lays down. I'm going to clip this spot right here. So you can clip against the hair, or the lay of the hair, so you get a nice, slick, clean cut like this. It looks nice and clean, really nice and tight. Also, if you do it this way, you want to make sure you don't take him and put him right out in the sun, because this spot right here where it's white will turn pink pretty fast and you can get a sunburn. Now, the other way you can cut it is with the hair growth, and that'll just take off the edges of the hair and leave you with a longer shag, but it'll also, so if you're a little closer to fair and you're not wanting to clip him down really tight, as long as you clip it all the same way, either against or with, you can't do one part one way and another part another way to make it look like he's a little bigger with one spot or not. But basically you're going to go over the entire animal the same direction. And you want to make sure that he's nice and clean when you do it. Trying to brush his hair out as he goes. Notice I'm working the entire back end right now and not the front end where you would be getting all even more antsy with the clippers. I'm trying to give him time to work up to the noise of the clippers and work the back end here and let him get used to everything about it. Get used to me standing here with the noise so that he knows that everything's okay. Nothing's attacking him, he's fine. I'll just show you what I'm going to do on the legs. I'm not going to actually do it. But when I'm clipping legs, I'm going to start and I'm going to put my hand, my non-clipper hand, on the hip of the animal. And I'm going to stand with the hip on, have my hand there on the hip, a little bit on the tail so I can feel the tail head and the hip. And I'm feeling for movement. So if I'm down here working and all of a sudden I feel this movement in this hip, I know that he's getting ready to move his leg. Maybe kick, maybe move side to side. Whatever it is, I need to know he's moving and pull my clippers back and get out of the way. When I'm clipping, I'm going to clip all the way down to here. I'm going to start here and work my way up. And at this point here, at the bottom here, stop. At this point down here at the bottom, about right here at this ankle, I'm going to turn and go the other direction, only for the benefit of cleaning it up. And I don't want to try and work the very hoof area coming back against that hoof because I don't want to get into that area. So I'm going to work from here up and from here down. You're going to have to spend some time also around in here because this is a very, there's a lot of folds in here. Don't be afraid to grab the skin and pull it out so that you can get it clipped off good. Work the entire section, work inside the leg, outside the leg, all the way around. If you're not going to do a full body clip on him right away, and you want to wait on that, but it's getting hot, you may want to clip his top line and his underbelly at least to get him cooled down and get him to eating better. On the tail, what I usually like to do is come down right where we see this longer hair starting to come out, and you grab it there, and you start from that point, and you work your way up. You do not want to cut this longer hair off. That's called the switch. You want to leave it on there. At show day, you don't do anything with it other than get it clean and comb it out. But you want that on there. Also, you're going to make sure you get clipped up in the tail head, all around the tail head. Make sure you get it nice and clean. And about the time you think, oh, I got it done, it looks good, you pull the tail up or you pull a skin flap back and you realize there's a whole nother pocket of hair. You also want to do this on a day when it's not hot. You say, well, how do I do that in the summer? Pick it in the evening. Get yourself some light set up so you can do it in the evening when it's cool. Because just like a human, this calf is going to have a lot less patience if he's having to deal with temperature and heat and you messing around with him on the clippers as you are going to have with him, and him wanting to dance all over the place because he's not happy and you're not happy, and pretty soon everybody's mad and things are flying and getting kicked, and you may say something that your parents or you as the parent don't want your kids to say or hear, or just different. It causes a lot of frustration. So you want to work this area and just get it all nice and cleaned up. Get all that hair clipped off out of there. Everywhere you see a little nook and a cranny, there's going to be a spot for hair to be tucked up in there, and you need to work it. You don't want to do this the week of the fair or the day of the fair. You want to do it about 2 weeks out, because if you were standing here, and maybe you can see it on the video, I don't know, but you'll see razor lines and clipping where I went with the clippers. If you do it 2 weeks out, that'll give your hair time to grow out. You can get rid of those clipper lines. Calf will the hair will grow back in. You'll get rid of those clipper lines, and the calf will look good, ready to show. I'm not gonna mess with this calf because he's still kind of young, not used to me monkeying with him. But on the ears, you're gonna want to run the clippers along the back of the ear and inside the ear. In here in this ear, there's a lot of hair in there. You want to run the clippers up in there, get that all cleaned out, get that all cleaned out. You're going to want to clip his forehead, his neck, his brisket. Get all this, everywhere you see hair, you're going to want to clip. The one other thing that you're going to want to do is on the sheath down here. You see that hair growth on the sheath? As they get older, that hair gets longer, and you're going to want to clip that right off even with the rest of the sheath, so that there's not hair hanging down. There's no places for hair to hang down. It's all cleaned and clipped up nice. And basically you want the animal to look like he's been freshly clipped and he's ready to go into the show ring. Everything's cut, everything's nice and neat. You want to try and keep him, I know that we've talked about this in previous meetings. You want to try and keep the bedding clean, because now is when you're going to see the benefits of the bedding being clean by this. If the bedding's clean, you don't get the yellow stains or the poop stains on his legs. So when you wash him and you get him all cleaned up and you clip it, then that's all gone and it stays that way. So basically you want to keep him clean so that your job is easier going out. If it doesn't stay clean, you may want to use a baby powder show day to cover it up a little bit. But other than that, that's the essence of our clipping video. If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of myself. I'm Tim Stutzman, assistant leader, or Ken Metzler, the organizational leader, or any one of the leaders that you know of. Get on the Facebook page, get a hold of us, and ask away. There isn't a stupid question when it comes to clipping calves. Another thing that I forgot to mention was it's kind of tricky, but as you're working the calf, you got to make sure that you get underneath the halters if you have them in a halter and not in a head chute. So you got to get underneath this halter, clip up underneath here. If you're experienced, you might be able to do it a one-person job. I recommend, however, using all available parties. You can always use somebody to hold the tail while you're working the body or the legs. And then it also gets the kids involved. They can be a part of it. Some kids do it themselves, and that's okay. That's perfectly great. If you need to borrow clippers, you can get a hold of somebody in the club and ask around. There's several of us that have them. Several people in the club that do the clipping for a fee. It's up to you. But come show day, anything that you want done has to be done by you or the parents or another 4-H member. Us adult leaders can't do anything for you as far as getting the calf ready at the fair. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Again, my name is Tim Stutzman, and just want to thank my videographer, Titus Stutzman, for being patient and putting up with this while Dad has to do the video. So hopefully we get to see you soon at the fair. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening.